Alright, let's get started. Okay, give me a second. I accidentally locked my screen. There we go, that's better. Alright, cool. And I should turn on my lights. Hopefully everyone's going well. There we go. Lights are on. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So, what I want to do, let's clear all this up. Let's go npm run dev, get this all up and running. We'll have not localhost 8000, but we'll have 5173. Boot this up. I want to, where's the camera? I want to play around with another internationalization library. So we've got this one. So I'm just going to try it out. Well, it's probably not that one that I'm thinking of. I did find another one the other day. It's not this one. Because I didn't write it down. I mean, we were using Petite. I thought it was that. I have forgotten what the whole thing was. Wasn't that one? Wasn't Petite. Wasn't that one, was it? No, it shouldn't have been that one. Yeah, it's not that one. Alright, looks like we're just Googling. Is the official recommended solution. Alright, yep, we know that. Not that one, not that one. it looks like I can't believe I forgot what it was. Give me a couple of seconds. I was playing around with it on here. Is it interlayer? I think it is. Now we're just gonna wait for the site to load up. Ah, this is it, yeah. All right, cool. Sorry about that. Absolutely forgot what library I was using. Let's just close that terminal. Let's go into the docs themselves. So the idea, what I want to do is I want to test another library to see if I have any issues with that library and what are the issues between the Vue Internet, the Vue i18n package versus this package. I did have a couple of issues with the Vue i18n package. One of those issues was getting everything split up into single files for the components and stuff like that was becoming very, it was becoming an issue. Also, the nesting that they said they could do, I wasn't able to achieve. Just wasn't working for me, and I couldn't find any example code which I could download of theirs to actually test it out and compare it to mine. So I also kept getting warnings and stuff like that because it would load up the component, then it'll load in the file itself. But because it's loaded up the component, it was like, oh, I can't find this. And it's like, it then loads in the data and yeah, I had issues. So we're gonna try this one. The idea is, at the moment, I know there's not much with the code splitting, but that's fine for the moment. We'll end up hopefully doing that. If this one does what I need, we'll end up using this one. So yeah, hopefully it is not big because we want something small. We're not doing anything complicated with this. So yeah. All right, first things first. Let's minimize this. Before I do anything, I'm going to go. All right, yep. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. All right. What I want to do is I want to go git flow feature start, and then I'm just going to go i18n, like so. Easy done. We're going to go npm run dev on that. So we got our dev environment running. We're going to pull out the old stuff, which is fine. So we've got the Vue router. There it is, the petite. We're just going to remove that, and then under the, I'm just right-hand clicking this. I'm going to just delete this outright. We don't need it anymore. I'm just going to go delete. Yep, that's perfectly fine. We're going to cause some issues doing this, but let's not worry about that. We're gonna find where we've got those called. It's under main. So under main, we'll have the internalization there. We'll have that there. We'll get rid of that. So I'm gonna be happy with this now. So that should still be building. Yep, cool. We're all happy with that. I do believe the search. So under components, we have search. we have these two files. We'll get rid of those. We no longer need those files, so we just go delete wherever delete is. There we go. Under search itself, we will have that. We'll just delete that. We won't need the unmounted or anything like that. So as you see, I playing around with it on the weekend, trying to figure everything out. And yeah, we'll continue with the search, just because it's easy. The search we can play around with. So if we go back over here and we hit refresh, everything should just work, and yeah, I'm happy. So what do I want to do? Let's jump into here. Let's zoom in so you guys can actually read. Our first thing is, so yeah, we'll have the component. Yeah, we'll have the index content and the index so similar to that. Now what we want to do is we want to go down here, interlay with Vite and VueJS. So what is interlay? Interlay is an innovative open source internationalization library designed to simplify multilingual support in modern web applications. So what can we do with it? Easily manage translations using declarative dictionaries at the component level, which is what we want. Dynamically localize metadata, routes, and content. I don't know if we need to do that just yet. Ensure TypeScript support with auto-generated types. Benefit from advanced features like dynamic local detection and switching. All right, cool. So we won't go through the video at the moment, but we do need to actually install these. So we're just going to go over here. We're going to cancel that. We're just going to install that very, very quickly. That one shouldn't take too long. Famous last words. Oh, sorry. Begin. Alright, and then we're just installing that one too. So we've got the interlayer and the view interlayer. Alright, cool. Hopefully this doesn't add too much to our packages, which we definitely don't want. Alright, so the interlayer, that's the core package that provides the internationalization tools for configuring configuration management, translation, context declaration, transpilation, and CLI commands. The view interlay, the package integrates with the interlay with a view application. It provides context providers and composables for the view internationalization. Sweet, and the Vite interlay, and yeah, that just connects to Vite and all that kind of fun stuff. So in here, what they've got is something really annoying right there. I don't know why that's there. I'm just going to refresh. All right, cool. So configure the project. So what we need to do is we need an interlay config.ts. I'm just going to go over here. We are right hand clicking on here. We're just going to go new file. I'm just going to paste that in. We're going to go add. Yep, cool. We're going to go over here. We're just going to click on this. We're going to go over here. We're going to do this and this and this. Done. All right. We're going to edit this a little bit. We won't need those. And we need to do that. All right, cool. All right, now. Add the interlay plugin to your configuration. Oh yeah, so under the vite.config, so in here, we've got a bunch of plugins down here. What we need to do is add in the interlay. Now that's going to have a problem straight off the bat. That's perfectly fine. We just copy that. We go all the way up to the top. We go like this. We'll go all the way down. We'll paste it in. We'll make sure that escape doesn't get put into like that, and then we'll do something like that. Ooh. Oh, it's lowercase. Interlayer. Sorry. I can't spell. There you go. So we're making sure that's in there, easy done, and then declare your content. So this is for the hello world content.ts. We're probably going to name it a little bit different, just because I want to follow a different pattern. That's perfectly fine. But what we could do, actually, we'll follow the documentation at the moment. I'm pretty sure I'll come across it. So we're going to do this with search. We're just going to right hand click. We're just going to add in a file. Now they've got content.ts, so we're also going to go search.content.ts. Now at the moment it's just one particular file. That's perfectly fine. We're just going to copy this. We're just going to go like this, and we're just going to paste it in. We are just going to get rid of all of that. We've got this will be for the key search. I'm just cleaning this up. So the content, so we won't need the count. I will have message though. Do that. Oh, all right. Now, I don't know. Hey, and how are you going? Abhijit Saka. Hopefully you're going well. I'm terribly sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. I am terrible with new names. I am playing around with interlay to see if that will suit our translation needs for NearBeach. So yeah, just playing around with it. Nothing serious. This is just a branched off. We'll see how it goes. See if it meets my sort of requirements. All right. So I've just copied that and I've just created that. So we're just calling that message. I'm pretty sure I can close all of that. So utilize interlayer in your code. All right, cool. So we need to import the install interlay into the app, into the main. So that will go into here. We'll inject at the top level. Yep. All right, cool. So that will belong in here. And then what we can do is we can do internalization is done. Inject libraries. All right, cool. And then mount is done. Access your content dictionaries through your application by creating a main view component and then use interlay composables. All right, cool. Kind of like that. Oh, sorry, big goal coming on. So now we're hitting the search sort of stuff. So if I go in here, we'll just paste in the interlay stuff, and then we will go something like this. So what they've got is they've got a const, and yeah, all right, cool. So in this sort of case, we want message equals, and then use interlayer, and we've just got search. That's it. And then what we could do, they just got it like that. Okay. All right, that's apparently the message. Let's have a look. Oh, we're not running anything. npm run dev, there we go. Everything's connected up, it didn't complain. Go back over here, and now we have the hello world. And we're like, yes. All right, cool. Now, the one problem is, I do believe if we view this page source, we've already got this on JP. So we should be hitting this. But we're not yet. All right. So I've just done all that. Interlay offers different. Yep. All right. Cool. Component-based syntax. Recommend use the. Yep. All right. And WI codes. How are you going? Syntax to render content as interlay node. This integrates seamlessly with the visual. Yep. All right. Cool. Cool. How's the progress? Well, it's going okay. I'm deciding to try out a different internationalization library, and what I want to do is, yeah, just try it out, see how it compares to the other one, and then I'll pick one over the other. Yeah, I do remember you. Yes, you asked. I think was I around? I wasn't around on Friday, last Wednesday. All right, string base. All right, cool. So we're happy with all of that at the moment. Okay, to change the language of your content, you can use the set local function provided by the use local composable. This function allows you to set the local application and update it accordingly. Sweet. And Matt Bird's quest, how are you going? Stand for 30 minutes. All right. Solve a cube. Do some curls and give treats to cat. All right. I might need to refund you on the cat one just because he doesn't. I've only got Patty here today. Socks is at the apartment because my partner's apartment, because I've got people coming around this week, so it's just going to be easier for her. Did you? I see. Did you change the plan now? With the internationalization plan, the idea being is I just want to try out more than one library. So yeah. Anyway, stand to give traits to cat. No, how can I? Hold on. I can do this. I don't know how my mod does it. I'm not in the mod view, that's the problem. Turn on shift mode, show mod icons. And how are you going, Jibo Bone? Oh, I keep forgetting how to pronounce your name properly. Alright, and not delete this. No. It won't let me. Alright, at least I'll try and do the other stuff at least. Alright, for those on YouTube wondering what's happened, we also stream on Twitch. You get points with Twitch. Those points you can redeem. So, I am now strong enough that I finally put the weights up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Alright. So that's 15 on each arm. Oh. And how are you, Matt? Hopefully you're going well. All right. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to try this again. Switch to non-mod setting. No. I'm here. I know there's a way to redeem. To do a clip that edit delay. Community retailer. I don't know where it is. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Matt. I will, because I'm going over to the apartment tonight. I will take a video of it, and I'll post it. So, you're doing good. Oh, that's good to hear. Working on building a time machine. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I need to go back to 2009. Buy all those bitcoins. All right, this function allows you to set locale, of the application and update the context accordingly. All right, create a component to switch between the languages. All right, sweet. We might as well do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this. We'll do this here for the moment. We'll make sure that looks nice. We'll add in the watch. The idea of this is I do want to move it so it's all automated. So we'll be passing the what the locale is from the back end to the front end using the HTML tag, because we can set the language in there. I can only go back as far as when construction started. All right, fair enough. Two of my projects got shown off at our local programming meetup this week. Oh, nice. That's awesome news. So, yeah. Were you happy? I'm assuming you were happy about that. Alright, we need to put in watch like that. We don't have the locale at the moment because I'm just going to copy all of these. And I'm after ref and use locale. And I've got to put ref in here. Alright, cool. You wasn't expecting it? Ah, fair enough. Well, that's great news. So yeah. Alright, let's go back into here. Let's hit refresh. Ooh, we're not seeing anything, so something's gone wrong. Let's have a look at the console. Get locale name is not a function. Ah, alright. Oh yeah, you're right about that. Get locale name is definitely not a function name. Alright, that's because I need to import it. I'm not too worried about throwing in this temp code into here because we'll clean it up in a bit and we'll move this to a place where we can change stuff around. Now, at the moment, that doesn't look like it's working. I don't actually have any errors, so I'm going to move that to the left to show you guys. We've got no console errors. And when we go into the view, we should see in here, we've got the router, we've got the PNR. I'm just going to click on the search. We've got locale jar. Jar. Oh, is that the problem? We're using JP. Alright. One way to figure this out. There we go. Oh, made a mistake already. Just going to do that for both of those. Alright, we're just going to refresh everything. There we go. Done. No error. Well, I'm glad it didn't have any errors when they were showing off. So that's always great news. All right, this is working a treat. So we actually want to now move this up to essentially the top layer. I'm going to change this from JP to JA. And we're going to hit refresh. Now, actually I'm going to hit refresh again. Yeah, the locale is like that. So what I want to do is I kind of want to move this language changing somewhere else. I don't want it at this level. I want it globally. I was trying for 0 console errors. It's tough. Yeah, same. It is very, very tough, and 0 warnings too. So I've got the warnings on. I'm not too worried about that warning because that warning will disappear when we're in production. All of this will just disappear when we're in production because that's just console logs from other third parties. All right, so we're happy with that. And this is something we could to change local, set to that. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip all this out again. It's fine, we don't need it. We know it works, we know why the Japanese wasn't working, we fixed it, we're all happy with that. So we don't need this, 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 we don't need that. We've got the router sort of stuff coming through. We need that, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need those anymore, and there we go. Alright, cool. What I want to do, I'm going to see if we could set this up so when the app actually loads in, we set everything. So, we're all happy with that. We've got the on mount here. So I'm just going to write setup internationalization, sorry, for application. And what we want to do is, if we scroll up here, you'll notice that with the change location, we've got the set locale. The set locale was grabbed from the use locale. So, grab this one, use locale, we're going to go up here, we're just going to paste it in. Cool, all done, we're all happy with that. We've got the stores, we've got the mounted, we've got the computed. What we want is internationalization in here. We kind of want to get those. Now, we're going to use set locale. We're also going to check the available locales. So what I want to do is I'm going to have let locale equal, what was the, oh, and we've just hit an ad break. Sorry, I didn't notice the ad break right until then. Hopefully everyone's going well. For those on YouTube wondering what's actually happening, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. The idea being is, I dropped my pen. The idea being is pre-rolled ads stuck, so we run the ads to stop the pre-rolled ads. I mean, I would prefer no ads, but these things happen. Because then I won't get interrupted and no one misses out on anything. So, yeah. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. It is finally warm here. Finally. We have not had a spring. I am complaining like there's no tomorrow about that. I went to a friend's place in Sydney and it was 30 up there and I was like, damn. And whilst I was up there, whilst it was 30, it was 14 here. Where the hell did spring go? I don't know. I've still got seedlings. They haven't grown because they're stunted. So, yeah. Hopefully today they start growing and I'll be like, yeah. But, yeah. Alright, about 10 seconds left of the ads. And then we can get right into it. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. So I'm going to jump back into here. In here, we've got the setup, internalization, and all that kind of stuff. I've absolutely forgotten how to get a particular value. So we're going to delete this. We're going to get this to refresh. We're just going to delete everything. And I am going to inspect the page. Up here, you'll notice that the language is jar. There is a JavaScript command to get that. And that's it. So what we want, var locale equals just this. Otherwise, it will equal the default en. And then what we want to do is we want to do that again, locale equals, and then I don't know if these are all right, let's int layer. Int layer, and this is available locals, contains language. All right, cool. Sorry. I'm not going to worry about it too much at the moment. What I wanted to do is to see if I could check those. Includes. Oh, I don't know why I was thinking of that. Locale. Hopefully. This is where I just need to double check some stuff. So I'm jumping over here. What we want to do is we want to create an array where we've got A, B, C, and D. Right, cool. Oops, I forgot to go var A equals that. When I go va.includes and I go A, okay, cool, it comes out with true. And if I go that, all right, cool. Includes, then we need like, so we're falling back on a default here. And then what we want to do is we want to set the locale to the locale. I think that's it. Now it's this one line that has a problem. Alright, and then this has a problem too. Yeah, just to try it out to see if it will do what I want it to do. The other one had a couple of issues which I weren't happy about whatsoever. Yeah, hoping like the issues aren't that bad. I could certainly work around them, set up stuff to get it to work how I want it to work. So one of the sort of issues is all the documentation was pointing at having one giant file. And I was like, no, there's too many components for that. I want to break everything down into component-specific files. And then the other thing was, because it loaded it after the fact, what actually happened is it threw up warnings being like, oh, I don't have this. And then it'd be like, oh no, I found it. And it was kind of like, all right, no, I don't want to have those warnings. I want those warnings to appear when I'm missing something, actually missing something. So, yeah. Yeah, trying something out. If it doesn't work, at least I've got workarounds for the other one, and I'll be happy to use it. So, yeah. Alright. Type string is not assignable to locale. Right, how are they setting their locales? So they got locale here. And then they... Did they just set it? Alright, I'm just gonna do that. Come on. Alright, I'm just going to skip that step. I just wanted to see if we should be double checking to make sure that the language that this has been set in actually is the language that will be supported. But hey, I just didn't want to do that for me. Alright, why are you complaining? Locale is... Alright. And you all set right there. Alright, cool. So, going back into this, I'm just going to hit refresh. Boom. We've got this. Done. Alright. So that's how it's going to work. And I think that was fast enough. I'm just going to throttle to good 2G. So hopefully we get to see all this work. It is 5 megabytes worth of data that we're downloading at the moment. So it's downloaded the main, it's done the JavaScript stuff. Doing a little bit more. Yeah, it's all the bits, and all the bits are currently in dev mode, so you know, they're quite large. We've got 3 megabytes. 3 megabytes, alright. Maybe next time I won't do it this slow. Come on. Oh, this is taking ages. Just like 12-ish megabits. Wow. And Devinda. Alright, welcome. I hope you are enjoying my content. Alright, this is taking forever. I am just going to bump this up to regular. Yeah, I'm not waiting for that any longer. Alright, hopefully this one runs a bit faster. Otherwise, I'm just going to say, nope, screw that. Let's go no throttling. Let's just refresh. Alright, cool. I'm going to assume that's working pretty instantly. So yeah, now the content itself, this is quite small at the moment, and that's perfectly fine. We know we want something like that now. I want to see if I can split this file up. So we've got all that. We've got all the locations. Yeah, we're happy with all of that, and I do believe I can set the language again. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to see what actually happens. I'm just going to paste this in. Oops, wrong shortcut keys. There we go. I'm not too worried about that at all. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm not worried about those two at all. I'm going to create this as a function. I'm just going to call it pain. Like that. I'm going to go and say that's going to be English. We just need to import that, which that will just go up here. So import use a locale. Yep. All right. Cool. And then we just need the pane. So button. Right click pane. Perfect. Done. This is just a quick and nasty test. So if we go into here, we're just going to hit refresh. We've got pane. Boom. All right, that can translate back into English very, very easy. All right, so I know how to tackle the switching of the languages now. Let's see if we can split up the file even further so we can have a language for a file for each different language. So in here, we're all happy with all of that. Now, localized routing, I'm going to say no at the moment. I might talk to a friend, be like, all right, cool, on Japanese sites, how's the routing? Especially if you're using something like Jira or something like that. Is it English routing still? So we're not going to worry about that. We're going to skip all of that. We're going to go and change the URL when the locale changes. Once again, we're not going to worry about that at the moment. Switch to HTML language and direct attributes. When your application supports multiple languages, it's crucial to update the HTML language directory. Attributes match. Yep. All right. That's what we kind of want. So yeah, the idea is when that actually changes, we also update those, and that's just doing, yeah, something like that. Creating a localized link component. Right, we're not. We're into Markdown. Yeah, we're not configuring TypeScript. All right. Actually, no. All right. Blah, blah, blah. No. All right. Ooh, sorry. Ooh. Came out of nowhere. Per locale file. So declaration of per locale content declaration in int layer. All right. Int layer supports two ways: declaring multilingual content, single file with all transactions. We don't want that. We want to split it up so that the person's only downloading the files that they require. One file per locale. So this Right, cool. Yep. We've got the per locale format. You want to version or override the translations independently. Yep. Your integration machine or human translation workflows. Alright, cool. You can split the translations into individual local files by specifying. Yep, alright, cool. Which is what we want. So, for example, hello world in content TS. However, that being said, make sure the local field is defined. It tells interlayer which language it represents. Yep. Alright. Note, in both cases, the content declaration file must follow the naming pattern. Something content TS. Alright, cool. To be recognized by the yeah, alright, sweet. Alright. Let's do it. Let's try it out. We've also got to do testing. But yeah, let's go back over here. Let's right hand click, let's go new, let's go file, let's go search.lang. In this sort of case, we want in.content.ts. Now, it will be nice if we can change all of that. Then again, that's fine. All right, cool. I'm just gonna copy this. We're just gonna go over here. We're just gonna paste this in very, very quickly. We're just gonna go up here. We are gonna make changes to this. We are going to go search content. Done. So the key would be search. Locales, English. Yep, perfect. Content. I think it was message, wasn't it? Message. Hello world. Doing that. We're just going to format this so it works. All right, cool. And then we want search content. I do believe this is meant to be a lowercase. Yes, yes it is. Sweet, we'll just do that. Search content. Easy done. We haven't used T in there. Yeah, they've got T and I don't know why. So we're gonna get rid of T. Alright. Then what we want to do, right hand click, do another one. We're just going to go here, go search.lang.ja content.ts. And Ashes of Owls, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, welcome. How was your stream? Was it good? What were you up to? I've also got to change my raid message and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Let's give you a shout out. Make sure I'm... Oh, what? Alright. Went well, just very brain dead. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. I fully understand that. How things over in yonder? It's going good. Weather's finally warming up here. I am trying out a different internationalization library for VueJS. And I can finally say the word internationalization. So, yeah. Everything's coming up Millhouse. So, yeah. We are just playing around with getting the language file and splitting it up. So that way, if you were to use it, you won't need to download any other languages and so forth like that. Now, this does create a problem where there will be lots and lots and lots and lots of language files. But if that becomes a problem, we'll solve it a different way. So yeah. So we want search lang.ja.content.ts. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to yank all of these lines. We're just going to paste them over here like that. I am going back to the original one and we're gonna nick that. So konnichiwa, and that will be hello world. I don't know how to say world yet. Yeah, even the acronym I18N gives you an extra read. Fair enough. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago I was struggling to say it. I just kept tripping over my tongue. I kept saying the last part in the middle, and it was a mess. So yeah. Right, I'm hoping, so it looks like this is still working, which is great. If I cheat, and let's say I go into here and I just go in, boom, and then I cheat again and I just go JP. JP doesn't work, it's JA for some strange reason. There we go, alright. So, yeah. I think this one's winning. I think this plugin's winning over the other one. Just because it seems a lot simpler to do. Now, there might be one other thing which, so for example, I might need to pass through a variable to find it and then get it through the translation and stuff like that. So let's do that now. We've all done that. Find and view. Background down, change URL when local, add So we've got this. They had different examples in there. All right, not a problem. We will do that right now. So I'm a little zoomed in. I'm just going to bump this over here. You guys should see that. So we've got edit, code component, we've got something like that. And we've got checkout like that. But I don't see them passing in any variables at all. Okay, not a problem. We'll just Google it. In your content file, use something like that. All right, cool. In your file itself, use get content. Okay. Don't see anything like that on there, but that's okay. String-based syntax, use alert to render content as plain text without visual editor support. Yep, all right, cool. Raw HTML, no, you know, dangerous. Direction, use the using layer composable, returns a proxy with the content. The proxy can be deconstructed to access content while keeping reactivity. All right, so use it. Const use interlayer, my content, and da-da-da. All right, cool. But yeah, we should be able to hopefully send stuff through. I don't know if this will work. So let's just see if it does. So we got the welcome message like that, easy done. What we can do on the search itself We can also copy this over here and just do something like that. We just want to see if this works first before I do anything special with it. So over here we've got the username, password, alert. That just passes through, and then it's like the get content. Don't think that will work. It's not passing through that whatsoever. Oh, and we also need to import it too. Like that. Now, if we... yeah, that will do. Alright, going over here. Yeah, it's not passing through that just yet. I don't think that will work. Now this is saying use content. Key that in like that. We'll go into this. We'll then go equals computed. At the moment, I'm just going to return welcome message. Oh, that. I'm just going to return that. We've got a conflict. All right. Okay, welcome message rendered, easy done. And then it's gonna, there we go. So that's, of course, we know that was gonna work. And then, oh yeah, we want this in here. Getting rid of that. It's gonna, oops, gonna do that. What we're gonna do, I'm just gonna go const message equals get content. And then from here, we want to do welcome message. And I just want to pass through Frank. And then we're just sending back message. Now it's complaining about this. Probably because I have to do something like that. All right, going in here, I'm just going to hit refresh. We're going to jump straight onto the console because there's problems. Get content is not a function. Boo. All right. Ooh, we've hit an ad break again. All right, let's jump onto here. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. I've got my little pen I'm flicking up and down. For those on YouTube wondering what's happening, on Twitch we run ads every half an hour to stop the pre-rolled ads because the pre-rolled ads suck. Don't worry, you won't get ads. We do this so no one misses out on any content. So yeah. Got our little wombat here. Actually, that's really in focus. Is Oh, no. Oh, wait, it's right there. Oh, no. No, I've just got bad eyesight. Alright, how are we with the ads? About 40 seconds left with the ads. So, yeah. And then... yeah, we've just got to do this. I don't think this get content is a thing. Yeah, I don't think this is a thing at all, but hey, these things happen. Anyway, welcome back everyone. So, I've just had a quick Google. I don't think the content is real. Let's do that. I think this is just going crazy now. What the hell? Alright. View, translate, pass through variables. So it's still saying to do that. Use interlay T. I think this is hallucinating. Yeah, I think this is just a bit of a massive hallucination. Alright. Because yeah, it's saying get content, which is saying... oh, God. Yeah, T is not a function. Alright. Let's see if we can translate this. So I'm just going to go pane in there. Just going to put that in. And this is going to throw off an error. I'm just going to see what the ID does. Yeah, it doesn't say much. In here, I don't think... view interlay, use interlay content. We don't want that, we just want this. Translation to the. That's with the other one. Configurations, alert. All right. And sorry, Kronos, how are you going? I am just playing around with internationalization. We're just building a mock-up at the moment, seeing if this particular library meets all my requirements. If it does, then I most likely will use it. So, yeah. One of the requirements I want is the ability to pass it information. Alright, we've got the string, we've got the ENs, and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip all that. Alright. Yeah. What I want to do. I don't think that will work. And Canon XX1, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content as we try and figure this one out. So, yeah. I'm just going to go down here and type in a welcome message. We're just going to do something like that. We're going to jump over here. We're just going to hit refresh. And there we go. We've still got our username right there. But I don't even know if we can pass in the username. Yeah. All right. Very much doubt that will work. Yeah, definitely not. We did try that before. I don't know why I'm trying it again. Let's just say I'm just going crazy and leave it at that. All right, so we've got get content doesn't work. That's a hallucination. Google int layer view variable pass through. All right, English, yeah, they've got something like that. They're using $T. I don't think this is. I think this is just hallucination after hallucination after hallucination at this particular point. All right, cool. We'll do that like there. We don't know what T is because I guarantee you, if we go up here and we key this in, so use interlay context. So right there, and then go in here. Let's go T. Yeah, the content is that. Yep, we're happy with that. Port ref. And then we're just going to port through that. So down here, this will be pain. And once again, yes, it's not $T. For importing something, it'll be T. And then $setup.t is not a function. It's just like, where are we again? And Mega Burger, how are you? Brainfuck mini course. Listen, 300 shares, memory tape of byte 0, data pointer command, right, left, increment, decrement, output input, jump, jump. Build values with use loops, multiply example. Yep. Yeah, brainfuck is pretty weird. Mobile dev, I know nothing about web dev, and I might get assigned for making an LMS for some medical telling.gov. Do you think it's better to make it with VPS or Noodle Cloud, which is a cloud hosted LMS? Don't know. And thank you very much for the follow. Nothing about web dev. All right. I think it's better with VPS or with Moodle Cloud. There's a lot of factors I would consider, for example, security, scalability, and ease of hosting, and any sort of deployment pipelines. If it's something small, internal, and won't be used that often, and you get it away with a very, very weak machine, you can always just do a VPS or locally hosted. I've never used Moodle Cloud whatsoever, so I don't know how they are. They only need 100 users. Honestly, yeah, it's a good question, but I just don't know. My recommendation is set up a VM. It can be on your laptop or anything like that. It doesn't need to be external or anything like that. And sort of hit it and see how much processing power it sort of needs and so forth like that. So when you do scale up to 100 users, you kind of know how much you need. And Nocturnal, how are you going? Hopefully going well. As a beginner, you believe I can make a VPS? Sorry, I was thinking when you said VPS, something like Digital Pacific. These guys are in Australia and won't probably suit your needs, so don't worry about this. When you said VPS, I thought you one of these sort of things. So you just get a server and it's racked somewhere. Oops, that's on the wrong side. Or if you're talking about DigitalOcean, are they VMs? Oh, I'm gonna sign up. I know. Ah, okay. Yep. Now the other thing is you've got to maintain the operating system too. So usually a lot of the times when you go with, like, let's say Azure, once again, I don't know what the Moodle Cloud is or anything like that. They're a little bit more expensive, but they do the management of stuff sometimes, depending what you actually get. And all of this has to be sort of dealt with at the start. So, for example, what do they have? They've got not Kubernetes, they've got droplets. So, yeah, I want to see your droplets. Oh, I used to have a better, view pricing. Oops, I went right past it. So yeah, I used to manage quite a lot of different VMs and stuff like that. It can be learned, the basics of it. But if that's the part that scares you, then yeah, you might want to look at a cloud solution where they handle that for you. It will take a bit of research. And you're okay, Nocturnal? Ah, that's good. Yeah, it's common money versus maintenance, yeah. And remember, your time maintaining this infrastructure costs. So, yeah. There's certainly a trade-off. Alright, I think the AI has hallucinated, but yeah. I don't know if I can pass through. Yeah, that AI is hallucinating. It's picking up a different library and yeah, all right. That's okay. All right. Autofill content declarations in your CI. All right. I don't think this is what I want. Yeah, possibly not. Keys and fill content. Alright, I'm just going to go back to the examples we had before, Byte and View. And Scotty B, how are you going? I'm going good, thank you very much. Summer is finally here. We're finally getting warm weather. We've never had a spring. So, yeah. Alright, what I want to do is I want to see if the count is... Looks like we're not passing through any variables or anything like that. We are passing through code, but that's just a HTML tag. Sorry, beyond coming through. And then we've got the view docs. All right, cool. Yeah, and then we got the count and then the count ref. Alright, so it looks like we can't send through any variables or anything like that. So that's something this can't do that the Vue i18n plugin can do. So yeah, -16. Alright. That is cold. That is really cold. I don't think I've ever been in something that cold before. Quite a lot of hosted providers also make legal compliances simpler as well. Yeah. So, going with this, yeah, I think this. I was thinking if there is any examples. I was hoping to find an example of this. All right. Yeah. All right. Cool. Now I'm going to do one where we're going to make stuff fail. So we're going to delete all of that. We're going to delete all of that. We are going to pass through a welcome message. We are going to render that on the page. Like so. Welcome message. What we're going to do is we're just going to go, this is the welcome message, easy done, nothing exciting or anything like that. Yeah. Which is why a lot of people fall back on stuff like Azure, AWS, you know, this stuff, for example, we use a lot of Azure Web Apps. I use Azure Web Apps too, mainly because I don't want to deal with having to update the VMs, having to deal with all the security issues and setting them up and so forth like that. So, yeah. Alright, going back into here, we've got this, we've got the Japanese still on, and yet it falls back to this. If we actually go over into the Japanese and we type in a welcome message from Japan, we go back over here, boom, alright, and then yeah, if we delete that, boom, it falls back, and there's no warnings or anything like that. Now, might be a thing that I need to have a look at, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment, as I just whack myself in the head with a pen. Okay. I do need to fix this issue here. There is a couple of warnings popping up. Very quick and easy. I'll fix them up. I just now need to think which library I kind of want to use. I mean, this library's been great. The only problem is if I want to feed some variables into it, and I just need to go through NearBeach and quickly go, all right, where do I want to feed through particular variables? How much of a problem is it going to be? Because there could be a couple of pages where I have like the destination on it, and I have a bunch of text stating what to do at a generic level, and then we just have the destination put in that text. I'm just wondering, how would we translate that? Now, if we were to translate that, we'll have to split everything up, and it just gets a pain. And languages sometimes don't work one-to-one. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this, but we got somewhere. Essentially with this, we can split everything all up into single files, which we can do with the other one, but we come up with warnings, and I gotta silence those warnings. This one also, we can get it. Oh yeah, we split everything up. What else? It works, and we can change the languages very, very quickly. I'm 6'4", or 193 centimeters. So yes, I hit my head quite often. You're probably the first person that has pointed out that yes, I'm really close to that fan. There was one stream a long ago where I put up my arm and I was holding a pen and it took out the pen. So and Sandy Lee, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome back. Yeah, he's still at VIP. I don't have many VIPs. Deal with the arm thing a lot while I was changing. Yeah. Had a housemate accidentally punch a fan. Unintentional. They were doing something silly and they're like doing the fisties and they went bang and they punched the fan. Fan still works. You met a cute Aussie a month ago? Oh, nice. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah. Alright, so going back with this, I'm happy with the translations. So I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to cancel this at the moment. We're going to go git status. We're going to go git add, and we're adding everything under the source. Git status. We're not adding every single file. We want to git add the index. We want to git add the int layer. Git add the package, and git add git add delete git status. All right, cool. Git commit implementation with int layer. So that's on int layer now. Oops, I got to do git push set upstream origin feature international. Alright, I just got a word from the project manager that she likes the demo I made for the LMS. I swear if I got the gig, I will scratch. That's okay. But I do hope you get the gig, because that would be kind of cool, stuff like that. So yeah. And if you're allowed to show off what you built, we do actually have a Discord. Alright, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go git checkout. Let's just check out main. I haven't really set this up properly, so we're just going to do a git pull. We are also going to git checkout. Actually, let's check out our develop branch. Let's do git pull again. Alright. Git branch set upstream to equals origin. Oops. And then develop. Oh, we don't have it. Yeah, we don't have that branch in. Alright, not a problem. Git checkout. Main. Easy done. I'm not going to fight that at the moment. So we're now back on the old code. Npm run dev. Alright, not a problem. Npm install. There, we were just missing a package. Alright, so here we are. We want to open up the this, so we're just refreshing. So the warnings we have are over here. We've got like no action, doesn't have a value, and all that kind of fun stuff, and we're like, yeah, that's correct. We've got to fix that in the enums. So we're going to go over into our utils. We've got the object state enums, and we've got them all like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change them down like that. And we're going to hit refresh. Now, invalid prop, custom valid check for prop variant. All right, I'm going to close all tabs. I'm going to keep that one open. We are going to go into new project. So we want to go into the components. We want to go project, and then we want to click new project. So in here, we will have, oh yes, all right, it's part of Chill Hop. This one particular song is called, let me just shove that on the other stream. I will just go Calm Slumber by DJ Raw. Okay, smooth. Alright. So yeah. Yeah, I just use Chill Hop because they've got DRM free, not DRM free. I am terrible with acronyms and I've forgotten the acronym. Idea is, hopefully I don't get strike with their music. They say you won't. So yeah. Alright, so what we have in here is we've got the status coming through. So we've got the object state. And we've got it set as that object enum dot saving object enum no action. All right, cool. And it's stating that the invalid prop custom validator check failed for prop variant. All right. So we need to go into the button component. So I'm just going to go straight into that implementation. Sorry. In here. And we need to have a look at the props. To find prop, we've got the variant default primary. All right. Okay, what I'm going to do first, go do that. We're gonna figure out if it is that. And I don't know why that has failed. Which is weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste that in like that. Yeah, we've got like something like that. We got a key value pair type of stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. I'm going to, there you go. So we've got that in there. The code is value in that. So if I go primary in temp0, it's going to be false. What if I go primary in temp0 and it's going to be true? Alright, so what I've got in here, I've got the default as that. If I go button variant, and I need to have that as primary. And then in the new project, that is perfectly fine. Okay, not a problem. What we're going to do, console log value, and we're just going to go value in here. We're going to find out what is passing through. And it's lowercase primary. Ah, all right. Enums are becoming a problem. We're going to do that. We're going to hit refresh. We're going to right hand click, store that, enter that, do that, temp0. All right. The one problem is, if we have a look at primary, we've got capital case there and then the lowercase there, which is kind of what we want. So whenever we're typing this in, it'll be like something like that, and then dot, and then capital case. Now, that's how that's been set up. And that's what it kind of wants it to be set up. However, we're going to do lowercase for this particular one because that's the result that we actually want to come out of it. What I want to do, giant script enum check value exists in enum, not the key. Alright, I received type equals 3 and I have to check if it exists in here. The best way is dot values, message, syntax of, blah, blah, message type. If you want this to work using street enums, you need to use object values enum includes enum.value. Alright, cool. Let's copy that. Let's go back into our code. Let's find our little console logging in here. Let's just paste this. Let's just paste this in. Let's go console log let's make sure we're using lowercase. All right, cool. Console log. We'll have object dot values, and then we'll have the button variant enum dot includes, and then we'll have the value. Yeah, it'll be the value coming through, which will be this. And Pingu, how are you going? Morning. Been a while. How's NearBeach going? It's going great. Thank you very much. We are currently doing a vertical slice of what we want 0.32 will look like. So today we're working on translation issues. I'm now fixing a bug. So yeah, idea being is we're gonna spend a lot of time and effort sort of improving it. This is just draft at the moment. We'll get people's feedback. But the idea being is we kind of want to settle on a nice look and a better user experience. So yeah, at the moment I'm just fixing up a warning. So yeah, argument of type strings is not button enum. And that's still having, because enums are not reverse map according to, yep, all right, cool. And I don't know why I'm getting an error there. Argument type string is not assignable to parameter button variant enum. But we've got that in and includes. Anyway, I'm just going to refresh. We'll find out if it breaks the system in a second. And it's true. And it's throwing up a really weird sort of warning. Looks great. Thank you. So yeah, it's I still want to improve it quite a bit. I've been reading quite a lot of design books and so forth like that. We want to, when we do implement it, we want to hit internationalization, accessibility, proper design, moving all of the sort of calls to the API. That way it'll be a lot more flexible. That way we can also implement partial updates. So for example, if someone changes just a little bit of something, we don't send the whole information, we can just send that little tiny bit. So yeah, still figuring out all of that. But yeah, I'm hoping in about 7 months we could have the release candidates. So yeah, just got to work on the design, get the design down pat. And essentially jump over these hurdles. So yeah, all right. I don't know why it hates that. Yeah, it just. All right, I'm just going to paste what we've got in here. Alright, we're going to copy that. We're going to paste that over into there. We're just going to get rid of that. It hates that. I mean, okay, my lint is gonna complain like there's no tomorrow. Essentially, Yeah, we've got never use the any's. Key value pair types. So, so I'm just having a look at the types themselves. Actually, I think I can use that as a type, right? No, I hate that. I'm just going to copy that. Yeah, it's not liking that either. Alright, cool. Yeah, I know what your fucking types are. Mysterious type, yep. Okay. Let's play around with this. Alright. So we've got it back down to here. I think it's stringing. Oh, do we have record? Yeah, we do. All right, string and boolean. let's just keep playing with this. So we want object. Oh, hang on. Object state enum. Oh no. So object dot values, and then not contains, but had what is it? JavaScript includes. All right. I don't think that'll work. I think it'll crash. Yeah, it's crashing. Invalid prop custom validator. Yep, I know. Yep. Just doing that for the moment. We reload. We don't have any console logs, do we? Damn. Object dot values. I don't know if this will work. All right, so we've got something working. Not gonna work. Object values with enum to find out if value exists. Right, cool. Let's just jump into here. Vehicle, object vehicle, vehicle. All right, cool. Object values. Be like that. All right. Let's get rid of this. Let's do this. Let's go var a equals that. We want to go console log a. It's done. We're just going to go over here. We're just going to go over here. We now have an array. So we've got this temp 0. We're all happy with that. So if temp 0 dot includes, but also I can do something like primary in temp 0. Now that's going to be false, even though it's right there as a first option. Let's go temp 0 dot includes, and then we go primary again, and then that's true. And that's my second guess is unexpected var, use let. Alright, we won't worry too much about that. Okay, so what I want to do is let's go const, let's go value, let's go values equals object.values. We translate that. It's going to be a bit slow, I do understand, and then enum values. And we know this is going to be an array. I think I could just go string like that. Oh, sorry, that's meant to be value. Alright, something like that, and we could possibly squeeze this down into one line. So if I go object, like that, and then dot includes value that won't work. Alright, so if I do it like that, that should work perfectly fine. We go over here, it's no longer complaining. So we've got to do that with the other variants too. So we had the object state one. I'm going to change this back. Like so. We know it's now going to throw up an issue being like custom valid object state. So what I want to do is I want to show usage. I just want to go object state as a prop. I think that is done in the yeah, it's done down here. So what we want to do, we want to copy those two lines. We just want to paste that like that, and then we do something like that. Easy done. And from there, it's doing it again. All right. Sorry, my music seems to be. There we go. More info. Cool. It's 9 o'clock. I am going to finish up early tonight. So we do a refresh. We've got a custom validator check for the prop object state. So what I want to do is I want to do something like that. And we're just going to open up this. Number is not, all right, cool. That's fine. That's fine. We've got that. So hold on. I've done something silly. What we need to do. That's. It's got to be object state enum. There we go. And I've got a console log somewhere. And now if I move that to the right, I'm just going to hit refresh. The idea being is I click on this. Now I'm going to Alright, so we've got a small little problem. In which case, if you just click on the correct project, doesn't tell you straight away, hey, these particular fields are broken. So we've got to actually do that. Alright, I'm just going to click on that. Let's see if that comes back. I'll be finishing stream soon anyway. So when we click on that, what we go through is the field validations and stuff like that. We need to sort of... Yeah, alright. I think this is going to be a little bit more complicated than actually fixing it tonight. But the idea is when someone clicks on this button, we need to actually tell the system, hey, can you double check all these validations and just get it done. I've got something a bit different now. And the reason why it's set how it is because I was like, that's going to be a lot easier to do it that way. But yeah, I need to set through a validation check. Alright, not a problem. I can do that next stream. Anyway, what am I going to do? Git status, git add, everything's under the source, git status again. Alright, cool, git commit. And what we do is fix up validation around the prop enum props. And we're going to just push that. Cool. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to run tonight. I've just got to get somewhere and just gonna do a quick clean and all that kind of fun stuff. Let's find someone to, I know who to raid, don't worry. We're gonna raid someone. He is testing, he's play testing his own stuff. So yeah, let's add starts, let's snooze that ad. Alright, cool. We're gonna go raid, we're gonna do that, we're gonna hit enter. Alright, cool. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for coming tonight. It's been great. I'll make up a decision which library I want to use for the internationalization over the next couple of days. I won't be here for this coming week. I've got people down and it's going to be hectic trying to stream and do live stuff and so forth like that at the same time. So yeah, and thank you very much, Canon. Hopefully everything goes well with the deployments and stuff like that. But yeah, my recommendation, try a small application first, test it out with 100 users. You can fake them using stuff like Locust or sometimes those services are included within the cloud, stuff like that. But they do require a little bit of setup. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to hit the raid now. We're going to go to Hypnotic Game. So, hey, I'm a robotic head. He's just a floating head. So, yeah. Alright, have fun. And look, for those on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. Sadly, you won't be able to join us with the raid, but I hope to see you next time. So, yeah.